What's good, man? What's up? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How are you all living, baby? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. We have the official Peter Schiff gold Hawaiian Puerto Rican t-shirt on for the man, the myth, the legend himself, who will be here in about an hour and a half. He's running a little bit late, which is crazy. That means that I have to actually run a stream for more than 5 minutes leading up to Peter Schiff, which is crazy. So I actually have responsibility to run a stream, to do my thing. No, I like to dress per the guest, right? So when the meme coin guys get on, I wear a hoodie. When the presidential candidates come on, I wear a suit. And then when Peter Schiff comes on, I wear a Hawaiian shirt and shorts. Is kind of what we do. Welcome back, man. I don't know who got me sick, but I'm sick. I feel, yeah, I'm actually sick. My voice hurts. My chest hurts. My face is like puffy. And we have a lot to talk about today. We really do. Okay, we have a lot to talk about today. We have a lot to get into today. We have a lot to cover today. It was a crazy weekend. Honestly, it was. Citrini dropped probably my favorite article that I've ever read in my entire life. I'm trying to think what I've read that has gotten me more excited. Maybe the first 10 pages of Reminiscence of a Stock Operator was better. I really enjoyed Michael Burry, activist GameStop article, got me excited. There's been a few things that I've read in my life that I have enjoyed, but I'm not sure any of them definitively top Citrini analyst number 3 getting on a speedboat in Oman and swimming in the Strait of Hormuz with a cigar in his mouth, tracking how many ships are sailing through the Strait of Hormuz after being detained by the Omanian CIA. I mean, bro, it's like the craziest thing I've ever read. And it has some actual implications that matter to us. So we're not going to read it because I don't even know if we can read it. I don't really want to get mad at me. Like, it's a paid sub. By the way, it's expensive. And I am not going to force you to buy somebody else's paid Substack. But I mean, there's not that many ways better to spend $700 than that for the year. I think it's $125 for the article per month. And I think basically everybody's paid Substack is fucking slop garbage. And yeah, they just put out incredible work. So we have a lot to talk about that. The Drift post-mortem came out and it's insane. I wonder what percent of North Korea's GDP is by hacking crypto protocols. It's probably pretty high. I also have entered a new crypto trade, which is insane. Guys, I'm excited about crypto right now. I don't really know when it hit me, but this morning we're on the morning call and I just said out loud for the first time in a while, I'm genuinely excited about crypto right now. So that's happened. We have a deadline on Trump, who, look, I'm just going to call a spade, sounds increasingly deranged and nonsensical. And tomorrow night, I think at 8 p.m. is his deadline. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, we just have like a lot to talk about today. They recovered the pilot in Iran, which is insane. Completely insane. Narrative violation on the U.S. empire collapse. And yeah, there's all kinds of drama. They shut down, Anthropic shut down my OpenClaw, which is just like the fucking dumbest thing ever. I'm actually pissed about it. I'm not gonna lie. I probably talked to OpenClaw more than any person in my phone contacts other than Malcolm for the last 3 months, and they just nuked it. Probably not the best choice of words there, but they got rid of it. Let's set the tone a little bit for Schiff. The best all right, that's the stream today. It's going to be a good one. I have a couple cultural things I want to cover. Also, today's a national championship, college basketball. I think if people want to come out and, denounce sports and say sports are gay and they don't care, you almost, especially as an American, you have an obligation to sit down in front of your TV at 8:50 p.m. EST, order some fucking buffalo wings, and some celery and some ranch dressing and dub some wings and watch Dan Hurley coach basketball. It's just like it's like the Super Bowl. Like, it's anti-patriotic to not watch the Super Bowl if you live in America, right? It's just like you have an obligation as an American. And so now I know not all of you are, but especially if you are. Yeah, you want to call it slop, whatever. It's like, no, bro. I agree that most of this stuff is, okay? Like carnivals and fairs. You will never get me to say that sports are slop. I would actually say on the slop word, not liking sports is the most. I think I'm contrarian, but I actually just go with the herd type of take of all time. Like, it actually doxes you as a complete I'm trying to like skip around some words. It doxes you as just a complete normie brain. Someone used the word drone. Just complete chud if you don't like sports. So that's just my take. Bro, did anybody go to this? Please. Did anybody go to this? Kanye West made history after being blackballed by the entire industry. 80K people singing Heartless with him at SoFi Stadium in LA. Did anybody go to this? Look at this shit. Here in production, like, what is this? What am I even looking at? Brother, what is this? How do you even set this up? I saw somebody make a tweet and they said, I would act like a god too. I mean, it's one of the, I don't know. I've never seen anything quite like this, really. My take right now, and this isn't like a hot take. This also isn't my take. I didn't like invent this take. Is, okay, for a while when the internet was still sort of niche, or at least there was niche places to go on the internet, probably like blow off top 2020, 2021, but definitely the 2010s. I felt like the really sick people were like peak hypebeast era, 2015, 16, 17. The coolest groups were on the internet posting, I think. Like, even early 2010s, peak forum era, like the cool kids were actually on the internet because it was niche. It was kind of hard to access. They were kind of hard to find. They had their own little bubbles. I wasn't around pre-2010 on the internet. I don't think I even had fucking internet connection until I was like 8, maybe 10. So I don't know pre-2010's internet, but I do know in like the mid-teens of the internet, all the cool kids were online and they were like hidden. And then everybody came online and everybody started spending more time on the internet than they did IRL. And there became nowhere else to hide out. Like, you couldn't really hide on the internet anymore because if you were lit, you were viral in the algo era, right? Like, probably that post algos, like 2016, 2017, AI algos. And so this isn't my take. I'm not the first person to say this, but I feel like it's happening where there's this aggressive counter trend rally to doing in-person shit. There is. You see that Kanye thing and you just think to yourself, I want to be in person doing stuff. I want to go in person and hang out. I want to go do the in-person shit. Aggressive counter trend rally towards gated, probably expensive, hard to access IRL events. This is actually going to relate to a take I'm going to have in a little bit, but I think that this is happening. And I regret to inform you guys that I lived in LA for 3 years. Okay. I lived in LA for 3 years and I never left my house at all. I did not leave my house in LA. I said it was end of 23, all of 2024, which is a raging bull market. And then all of 25, where I was just like streaming all day and blow off the top with Trump, all of this. I did not leave my house. Like, I probably had 50 drinks in 3 years in LA, like total. I didn't go out. I wasn't going on dates. I did nothing. I locked myself in my room and I would go out to dinner, but I wasn't partying. I wasn't doing social stuff ever. And I had a blast. By the end of 25, I was just like really bored. And since I've come to New York, I moved to New York in, I don't know, like January. Dude, I've gone out like every weekend, low key, one night. I've gone out more in 2 months in New York than I did in 3 years in LA. And I regret to inform you that I've been having hella fun. Like, actually having fun. And I've also, like, part of the reason I feel like I became terminally online is because I couldn't talk to and have the conversations with people I wanted to have conversations about. And I've now noticed that all of the nuanced quality discussion is happening in person or in niche group chats. And I'm not very good at group chats, so I can't speak on the group chats. It's all happening in person, bro. Actually, all of the edge and the nuance and the fun discussion is happening in person, which is kind of a shift because it was all Twitter exclusively before, but now everything's like viral slop on Twitter. I mean, look, Twitter's my life. I love this shit so much, obviously. But this is definitely a counter trend for sure. This is like a new thing, at least in my world. This is a new thing where the value on leaving your house in 2024, like the opportunity cost was so high to going out. I felt like every time I go out, I would miss a 100 mil runner or some like moment in Telegram or like something happening. Now it feels like the opportunity cost to fading in-person events is so high. It's like, no way this guy was there or that guy was there or that guy was there. And it's not like celebrities. It's like finance chats. Like it's sick. It's sick. I don't know. It's really sick, and it's happening, and there is this like in real life edge coming back that I just think it was gone, bro. But I have a cultural take, okay? And my cultural take is that the era of designer is falling on hard times. Luxury consumer is going to zero. And I think, bro, I think it's because of the fake market, okay? I've gone to Canal Street a couple times since I've been in New York. And dude, have any of you walked up and down Canal Street on a Saturday? I have genuinely never in my life seen anything like what goes on at Canal. It is fucking unreal. Watches, Rolex, Louis, Gucci, Fendi, Prada, like, bro, everything. AirPods, everything luxury consumer is being faked. And I mean, it's nonstop. I spent a day in Soho. You walked by it a couple times. It is actually nonstop. And so my take on this is that fakes are going to just decimate the luxury market the same way it killed sneakers. Okay. In my opinion, fake shoes killed sneakers. Okay. Because one of the things that happened that I think is happening in like luxury bags and wallets is that the fakes get so good that you no longer feel pressure to wear fakes for getting called out. You're never like, bro, you're not getting called out on a pair of fake dunks ever. Nobody knows. Nobody can tell. It's not obvious at all. And so one of the things that happened is all of my homies started wearing fake shoes. All of them. All my IRL high school homies started wearing fake shoes. And they started wearing fake shoes because I think you kill the swing states, right? Like if you are saving up for a pair of Jordans, like a $300-$400 pair of Jordans, okay? And you have to wait like 3 weeks and worth of paychecks to buy these Jordans. Instead of waiting 3 weeks, you'll just buy a fake pair for $50 bucks. You're just buying the fakes. And so the rich people are still buying, okay? But everybody else who I'm calling a swing state, who has to wait and save money and be conscious of the purchase, is just no longer buying it. This, I'm telling you, happened to sneakers. I watched it happen to sneakers. Okay. I watched all of my friends who, because back in the day, right? Like 2013, 2014, 2015, if you were wearing fake shoes, it was like a hate crime to America. You would get called out. You would get clowned. You would get dunked on. It was an ethics thing. But the real reason it was an ethics thing is not because fakes were wrong, but because people could tell you were wearing fakes. Like it looked fake. They looked fake. You'd look at it and be like, bro, what the fuck are you wearing? Those aren't Jordans. What are those fake ass shoes? The only thing that changed is not people's ethics, but it's that you could get away with it. You could get away with wearing fake shoes because nobody knows. And no one knows because everyone else is wearing fake shoes. Everyone else is wearing fake shoes. The moment sneakers actually died, I so vividly remember this, was the fakes market got so bad that the only way to verify real shoes was the StockX tag. That was it. It was the only way you know you were getting fake shoes. If it had the StockX tag, that bitch was like on the blockchain, you're good. And what happened is, I will never forget this. A thread came out, this guy on Twitter, who was a bulk seller of Travis Scott ones. And they were like selling, I think, for like $1,100, $1,200 a pop. Fakes were like 75 bucks. And this guy goes on Twitter and posts a thread about how he, as a StockX seller, has an 85% hit rate on fake Travis Scott ones getting through StockX verification. Approval. $1,100 spread on each pair. And they were moving thousands of these Travis Scotts. And that was it. After that, it was like StockX isn't even real. I have no way to know if I'm buying reals or fakes. I'm just gonna buy fakes. Fuck it. I'm done. All right, we have a bunch of things to get through. I'm probably gonna we'll skip to market open in 1 second, but here, a couple more things really quick. Number one, Nate Silver, who Elon just tweeted as a retard, tweeted this thread about the accounts with the most engagement on Twitter. And this is pretty dark. I'm not gonna lie. Look at this thread, bro. How many of these accounts do you follow? Most engaged accounts with on Twitter. Elon, obviously. Wall Street Apes, don't know what it is. Nick Sorter, do not know who that is. Popbase, don't know who it is. Eric Daughtry, honestly, I don't know who this is. Gunther Eagleman, don't know who it is. Libs of TikTok, of course. MAGA Voice, no clue. James Woods, no clue. Rapid Response 47 is good. Just tweets Trump announcements. Vivid Prowess, no clue. Fox News, Brian Allen, no clue. C3, no clue. Jackson Hinkle, no clue. The White House, of course. Benny Johnson, no clue. Cat Turd, no clue. Laura Luma, brutal. ACYN, no clue. Scott Pressler, no clue. Reps against Trump, all right. Aaron Rupert, no clue. Mark Levin, no clue. Call to Activism, no clue. Shout out to Polly Market. I don't know who any of these people are, bro. Right Angle News, JoJo from Jers, Cam Higby, Scott Jennings, Dad. Like, what is this, Dad? Only person here I know is Nick Shirley. DC Drano, I know. Piers Morgan. Lindsey Graham is crazy. Andrew Tate, Colin Rugg, Candace Owens, Fuentes, we know. Barack Obama, I didn't even know he tweeted. Evan Sorbo, Gavin Newsom, Touch, Dan Brazilian. Dan Blazarian, Jesus, is a top 100 Twitter account in 2026. There's a gap. What am I calling? What I call him? Dan Brazilian. What does he even do? What does Dan Blazarian even do, bro? Dan BBL Blazarian. What does he even do? We'll set the tone with a Trump video and let's get it.
He said very nice things about me. He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person. Okay, so don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible.
It was so nasty the way that he did it. So, all right, despite all odds, the S&P 500 closed today plus 40, plus 0.5%, plus 4%. All right, here's where it closed. S&P up 0.5%. Crazy, just insane. Trump is threatening to send Iran to the Stone Age if they don't agree to a deal by tomorrow night at 8 p.m., which they're not going to agree to, and stocks are green. You got to love how the stock market works. Q's up 0.6. IGV up 0.15, and the Dow is also green. RIP, Pam Bondi, 4 hours now, by the way. What is that? 4 hours now. Interesting. Oil, crude on TradingView is up like 1%. Backdated futures are up a lot, which we're going to talk about oil. I personally think the oil trade is over. I'll give you my thesis as to why. Crypto looks great. Majors for now is hype. Is at 37, looks really good. Sol, not so much. Silver's at 73 flat on the day. Dollar's down 0.2. Zcash is up almost 5 and looks pretty good. Monero flat, but 330 respectively. Yeah, market just closed. There we go. ETH 2150. Gold's at 4650. Looks decent. Bitcoin at almost 70. Looks good. 10-year yields are up. TAL looks decent, but it looked better earlier. And stretch is over 100, which means we have to look at this, which means they've bought almost 1,000 Bitcoin today. Insane. Almost 1,000 is insane. What is that? 1,000 times 7. I should know the answer to this. $70 million. Just disgusting. Energy green across the board. Defense, Palantir's down. Lockheed, Raytheon are up. Fertilizers are all down a lot. Fertilizer chemicals. Individual names: NVIDIA flat, SanDisk 3, Micron plus 3, Tesla down 2. Remember, Dev has a new. This is gonna be a fun one to follow. Tesla. Dev is launching a second token. I cannot imagine Tesla has any positive PA for a while here. I don't know who was interested in bidding here. Google up 1%, AMD up 1.3. It was up a lot. I think it was up 3 at one point, and then Intel up 1%. Is Tesla short Megachurch Alpha? I don't know. It's a weird one. Like, I'm not a short seller, you know? I don't really know. I'm not a short guy. I'm not a short guy, but I think the why I would not buy Tesla here thesis is pretty obvious. It's like Dev is launching a second token, bro. They're IPOing SpaceX. Like, you can't buy Tesla when that happens. It's just obviously, you just as a crypto trader have so much alpha and history in knowing every time a second token or a second NFT or a second project gets launched by the same founder, they both just get destroyed. It's just like how the world works, you know? Other individual names, we basically just care about Hims, up 6% today. Chat, you think they're working or no? My hair look full? Does it look thick or no? But obviously Hyperliquid goes down. Like, of course. Individual names we care about. SoFi, can that go up on Kanye? No, certainly not, right? Hood up 1.2, but still looks terrible. Circle looks decent. Strategy had a good day today, up 6. And then last but not least, certainly not least, altcoins, which is a new daily cover for us because they look pretty decent. Zcash 255 looks good. Lighter, maybe a little trend reversal here. I feel like it reclaimed the first important level above like $1 and looks pretty strong. My entry on Zcash is 256. I'll talk about it in a little bit. Very, very small size. Like, I would like to buy Zcash like above here. I would like to buy Zcash like above here. Above 290s with fucking volume. I'm just bored. So very small nibble just so I can like feel it out a little bit. Lighter, I think, looks really good. Everything else kind of looks like shit. Not interested, not interested, not interested. Tau looks decent. Not interested. This looks decent as well. It sort of has the lighter chart pump. A little bit less aggressive. And I can't really believe that I'm saying this, but if we're being objective here, pump looks decent. Has the same sort of feel on these charts. What was the other one that I liked is the last one I think looks pretty good is Monad. This objectively looks pretty good as well. Reclaim above here, and I don't even know what happens. But I found myself XPL too. Yeah, fuck this shit, dude. I'm not trading this. Although it looks decent. It actually does look decent, but I'm not interested in XPL. I just will not disgrace the market gods like that. But I have actually found myself being excited about crypto for the first time in a long time, which I don't know. I have it slotted for like topic number 4, but I'll just give you my general take on crypto and I'll come back to it. Is that, we're stuck with macro tailwinds, right? When is war going to end? What happens with AI and SaaS apocalypse after? Hype's on the macro one. I don't have hype on the alts. There's a lot of stuff out of the control of crypto. But I think the reason for excitement on crypto is that you basically had every wipeout you could have possibly had at the exact same time that everything you could have ever dreamed of as a crypto participant in 21, 22, 23 is happening, right? ETFs, admin support, clarity on like Clarity Act, but also clarity on what's legal, what's not. Genius, full adoption of stable coins, like tokenization of everything. You basically have crypto infiltrating TradFi everywhere. And the only thing that's missing, ironically enough, is the speculative value, which is like, who could have thought, right? Who could have thought the speculative mania is the one thing crypto doesn't have? And I don't think it would take that much of a return on that front for pandemonium again. But the real reason I'm excited about crypto is that I think in the depths of pain here, a couple underpriced and underappreciated use cases have really fleshed themselves out in crypto. Number one being Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid, I think, is underappreciated how important it has been to the silver commodities trade and then oil during the war. It's in a couple months become essential to be watching Hyperliquid. It's the only place to see orders on market close. And I think that that's underpriced. I think it's underpriced as an idea, not even as an asset, but like as an idea. It's underpriced and underappreciated. It wouldn't take that much. And so 24/7 perps is one use case for crypto that I think is underappreciated, how important it is right now already in the grand scheme of things. Not just as like a little toy, but like in the grand scheme of like real crypto, it's underappreciated how important Hyperliquid is. And then the second is privacy. I really do. I think Zcash and Monero and the idea, the concept of a privacy token is also underappreciated in crypto. And even Peter Schiff is like, yeah, privacy coins are pretty cool. I'm going to ask him about it near the end. But even the most anti-fuck crypto, I hate this place kind of guys are like, yeah, privacy is pretty cool. And then in tandem with these other niche topics that pop up like a Tau, and then you see guys like Jason Calacanis and Chamath that never talk about crypto ever, maybe other than Bitcoin, are like, yeah, Tau. And so it's pretty funny that the only ingredient that's missing from crypto is speculation. Like, how did we get there is just unfathomable to me. And I still think the meme coin stuff is pretty cooked until further, unless something structurally changes here or we just get a crazy increase in flows. I was talking to some unks yesterday and they were asking me about crypto, and I was just saying, like, it's crazy that everything you could have ever dreamed of as a participant in the market has happened, and we're just missing this speculation ingredient. So, all right, let's start here. Look, I say this a lot because I want to just reiterate my bias. And I don't want to sound too ridiculous on stream because I'm a patriotic guy. And I also voted for Donald Trump. I would have voted both times for him if I could have voted when in 2016. But I'm just honest about how I feel about what's happening at any given time. And these posts just feel increasingly deranged. I'm sorry. They feel increasingly deranged. And he posted this on Sunday, which says Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day. He posted on Easter Sunday, dude. Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. This was a crazy Easter post. I'm sorry. It was a crazy Easter post. And I don't think like screaming open the fucking strait to Iran is necessarily like a sign that it's going better than planned. Do you think he was quoting Tyson? No. Do you? No. I don't actually think he was quoting Tyson.
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Are you saying now, Mike?
What the fuck was he going to ask as a follow-up question? What was he going to ask as a follow-up question? Like, just let him go, G. What do you mean, Mike? What are you going to say as a follow-up question? I'm going to be honest. If he was quoting Tyson, it's kind of cold, but no. I think absolutely not. I think that the taco timelines, like I said this in a Telegram a couple of days, a week ago, maybe we kind of been talking about this for a while. That the market is no longer reacting to like it's almost over in weeks. Before that would dump oil. Like it's almost over in a couple weeks would dump oil. Now that's no. We've heard it too many times. So now it has to be a couple days, right? Like 48 hours is the new couple weeks, which has a much tighter reinforcement reflexivity about it. And so you have to sort of act on it or reinforce with a tighter timeline, right? You don't get as much leeway on 48 hours as you do on 2 weeks because you come to a conclusion a lot faster. So he did a speech today. We'll go over some of the headlines, but I just think we're going to come to a climax on this relatively soon. So a couple clips. He says, every bridge in Iran will be decimated at midnight Tuesday. I think 8 p.m. was the timeline tomorrow. Every power plant will be out of business by midnight. Iran decimation would happen over a 4-hour period. And then, so overnight news, last-ditch effort ceasefire plan. Israel hits key Iranian chemical plant. Israel kills head of IRGC intelligence. Trump presser at 1 p.m. that day already happened. And then Trump's Tuesday 8 p.m. deadline looms. We can take a quick look at Polymarket, which our boots on the ground market is cooked because this is resolved because of the pilot, which we'll talk about in a second, which is honestly incredible. I'll get there in a second. Just that is an American W. So this is the only market we really have to go off of, which is a ceasefire, which is up a little bit. There was these reports of they were trying to get this 45-day ceasefire open last night. I actually quickly longed oil, but then closed it almost right away because I felt like we dumped way too aggressively last night on that news. Iran responded with like a 10-point plan, and then it's sort of been slopped out. So we have April 30 ceasefire, little bounce, like 18 to 28 on this. March 31st. They've all taken a little bounce. Everything's up like 10%, which is honestly good news, especially as I'm just cash right now. So everything bounced a little bit, and this is the main market that we have to go off of for anything relating Iran, as the boots on the ground market is just no longer relevant as it's closed. And so this happened, which is crazy the way this played out, especially after the videos. If you were here on Friday, the videos we watched on Friday. We have rescued the seriously wounded and really brave F-15 crew member officer from deep inside the mountains of Iran. The Iranian military was looking hard in big numbers and getting close. He's a highly respected, I'm just going to say it wrong. This type of raid is seldom attempted because of the danger to man and equipment. It just doesn't happen. The second raid came after the first one, where he rescued the pilot in broad daylight, also unusual, spending 7 hours over Iran. An amazing show of bravery and talent by all. I'll be having a news conference with the military at the Oval Office on Monday at 1 p.m. God bless our great military warriors, President Donald J. Trump. Emphasis on God bless our great military warriors. And the fact that they got this guy out is fucking insane. Because we watched the video on Friday of what he was in Russia. Where was this pilot? I forget the exact context. But getting this guy out of an active war zone is like basically impossible. They sent 155 people in, no casualties, pulled him out. Honestly, yeah, it was in Serbia. We watched this video on Friday if you were here. It is a complete, just like incredible military feat. And there is this conspiracy theory about why and how this was able to happen, and that it was related to this like nuclear seizure plan. Anyways, all right. Here's what I want to do is I want to talk about the Citrini article. Okay. Greetings from the Strait of Hormuz. And it's a paid sub. I'm not going to read the actual article word for word because it is paid and gated and I don't want to get salty. And it's also really long. I'm going to be so honest, bro. The story that I read in the Citrini article is legitimately a $100 million Hollywood A24 movie. I mean, I read a better story in 42 pages of the first half of this article on Citrini Substack that is just, it's better than most movies I've ever seen in my entire life. It honestly is so unfathomable that this is real. It happened that I don't even know what to say. Just, if you can't, there's a lot of it, like a lot of the best parts are on Twitter, screenshots and people's takes and memes, people posting about it and laughing about it and joking about it, covering it. You could get most of the story from Twitter. But if you want the best story that you will read this quarter for sure, it's $125 a month on the Citrini Substack. I don't think I've ever showed a paid sub. And I think most times we just read their paid subs on stream. It is unbelievable how good it is. I swear to you, I was reading it this morning and I almost started crying. I so genuinely almost started crying when I was reading it this morning. But I'm going to go through the quick story. Okay? And no. By the way, I'm not going to pull it up on screen. I'm not going to pull it up on screen. I don't want, I don't know how the situation works with that. But yeah, I'm not going to pull it up on screen. So basically what happened, right, is this Strait of Hormuz, Iran-US war is going on. And the entire war is sort of based around, at least the implications of it are based around this choke point that's 21 miles in between Oman and Iran. And it's this water canal, as we know it, where 20% of the world's oil flows through. And it is called the Strait of Hormuz. And so part of the problem that we found as well is that it is basically illegal in all of these Middle East countries to record, take photos, and post, upload anything that's happening regarding the war. You can't do it in Dubai, can't do it in Oman. It's definitely not happening in Iran. I'm not even sure they have internet access right now. There's nowhere that you could do it. And so we are basically at the mercy of what Trump says in interviews and what the Iranian speakers say in interviews and on Twitter. And that has shown to be extremely unreliable, right? Both parties have reasons to lie and reasons to gas shit up and reasons to like fabricate narratives, obviously. Deep incentive to do that. And there's basically no neutral third party reporting on any of this. And so Citrini was basically like, you know, he's in this article and he's basically like, you know, I woke up one morning and I said, what if we just sent somebody to the Strait of Hormuz? What if we just sent someone to the Strait of Hormuz? Which is like an insane, I mean, it's an active war zone, right? There's tankers getting blown up. There's Shahed drones flying overhead. It's an active war zone. And so they say, what if we just send somebody to the Strait of Hormuz? And, you know, they laugh it off. Yeah, we'll never do it. But like, no. What if we actually sent somebody to the Strait of Hormuz? And so he gets on the phone and starts calling everyone. Like, I think it's pretty easy to get to Dubai. And I think it's relatively easy to get through Dubai into Oman. But then to get from Oman into like the strait, there's like an 18-mile passageway that is only accessible via like a boat. Okay. And so to get close-ish is relative. Also, I'm going to probably mess up details. I don't have it in front of me. So I'm just recalling some notes that I took and I read it this morning. It's relatively easy to get close-ish, like to get within 100 miles. But to get from there to the source is like impossible. And so he recalls a story that he's calling everybody. Like, I'm a tourist, or like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. Everybody's just hang up, hang up, hang up, hang up, hang up. Finally, he gets this guy that does dolphin tours to be like, yeah, fuck it. I'll take you out. I'll take you out. Because you need a boat. You can't like bring a boat. You need a boat and somebody familiar with how it works to get you out. And so this guy that does dolphin tours is like, yeah, fuck it. We'll do it. And so they go. And so first, this guy flies to Dubai and he meets at this like poker game, right? And is talking to all these like, I don't know, they kind of get referenced later in the story, but it's just like elite crew, like this like cabal sort of crew. And he's getting info from these guys that you can't even get on Twitter. They can't really post. They can't talk about what's happening. They can't like post videos or post pictures or nothing. And so they're telling him like, look, April 6th, I think is the date. Yeah, it's today. Is the day shit is going to pop off. Like, make sure you get the fuck out by April 6th. Shit's going to get really bad. That's what they told him. April 6th, shit's going to pop off. And so he plays the poker game, gets some info, leaves at like 6 o'clock in the morning. He's been out for like 24 hours. And he's on the way to the border in Oman. I think Oman's connected to Dubai, and you have to go through Dubai, across the border into Oman. And so he says when he's in Dubai in the back of this car, about to drive up to the border, it's still like a nice area. It still looks nice. A lot of the areas like where there would be people, there would be cars is like completely empty. It's eerie, but it doesn't look like a war zone. And he takes a picture with his phone. And the guy driving the car turns around almost like in disbelief. Like, what the fuck did you take a picture? Like, what did you just do? Why would you do that? How did you just, like, you cannot post. You seriously cannot post. This is why information arbitrage is so ridiculous. You cannot post. And so this guy has $15,000 cash, a gimbal, a camera, packed in a Pelican case. On top of it, sweatpants, clothes, hoodies. On top of it, cigars, tins, and cigarettes. And that's it. $15K cash and a burner phone. 2 phones, one's a burner to hide, and one's like a phone that he can get confiscated. And so going through Dubai is like, says it's pretty chill, it's pretty easy, nothing crazy. They get to Oman and they're kind of like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? I'm a tourist. I speak English. I'm a tourist. I only speak English. I'm a tourist. Whatever. They let him through. And he said once he got to Oman, it was just like chaos. Complete chaos. Like, looks like a disaster. It's a mess. No, he does speak Arabic, but he like lies when he gets pressed. Says I only speak English. So he gets to Oman and it's just like a fucking, like actually a war zone, right? And so he's staying in this hotel somewhere deep in Oman. He gets there, he checks in, and I think up until this point, everything is like pretty cool. And one of the things that he says that he like underrated is that he's walking around in like American clothes. He's like, I think he's a white guy walking around in American clothes, American apparel, whatever. And everybody is just like staring at him. Like, cars are stopping. People are turning around. People are opening their windows, looking, peeking out the blinds. Like, he said, I'm walking around with wired headphones talking to Satrini, and the world is like stopping. Like, they've never seen, like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, he's wearing like whatever, Hawaiian shirt, right? So he said he was like a complete, just like spectacle target in Oman. And so he gets there, he checks in the hotel, and the dolphin guy cancels. And he's like, fuck my life. What am I supposed to do? And so they say like the whole goal is to go to the Strait of Hormuz and to basically, in his mind, he had this idea that it would be pretty binary. It's open or it's closed. So you get on the strait for a dolphin tour, whatever the fuck, and ships are either passing through or they're not. That's sort of what he's expecting to get there. Yeah, so this is the quote. The dolphin tour guy canceled on me as soon as I tried to get back in touch, which, to be fair to him, was the rational response to the current security environment, and which was also, to be fair to me, extremely inconvenient. So he's in Oman. He's already made it here. He's $15K cash, 2 phones, some Zins, nothing else, and has to figure out a way to get to the Strait of Hormuz. And so he basically finds these, I'm going to mess up the timing of this, but he finds these like IRGC, like Iranian, like pirate smugglers that go back and forth across the strait, smuggling like weapons or whatever, drugs back and forth. And so he kind of gets a signal like, all right, it is obviously up to Iran, like who they want to strike. Like there's not, like these little speedboats are getting up and down. Like they're not like striking there's not mines. They're not striking every ship. We can maybe get through. And so I don't know exactly who he found, but he has $15K cash. he finds this like guy who lives in Oman who's like, I have a speedboat and I can take you to the Strait of Hormuz. Like 3,000 cash or something. Bet, done. So he goes back to his room. He goes to bed. And in the morning, this guy, Citrine analyst number 3, is going to go through the Strait of Hormuz. Well, at like 6 o'clock in the morning, bang, bang, they're banging on his door. He opens the door and it is like the equivalent of the CIA in Oman. And they're like, get the fuck out, get in the back of the car. And so they throw him in the back of this like, armored SUV, black SUV, right? And the reason they threw him in the back of this SUV is because they saw fucking Citrini tweeting about analyst number 3 going to the Strait of Hormuz. They throw him in the back of this car and they basically are like, we know about your boat trip. Go back to your hotel, get your shit, and get the fuck out of Oman. You're not going. And so he basically says like, dude, it's over. Like, I'm done. It's over. There's no trip. They know about it. I'm fucked. And so he goes back to the hotel and it's time to pack up and go home. And he like texts the boat guy and he tells him what happens. And he's like, analyst number 3 is like, what if we just go anyways? And the boat guy replies verbatim and he says, fuck the police. What if we go anyways? What if we go anyways? Fuck the police. And so they're off. And so here's a direct quote, one of my favorites of all time. I'll read it to you without looking at it. Ready? Analyst number 3 decided against the counsel of an Omani border agent, the implicit counsel of God, and the extremely explicit counsel of 2 Coast Guard officers holding assault rifles, that he was going to the center of the most consequential waterway on Earth during a live war in a speedboat with no GPS, captained by a man he met 3 hours ago at a port inlet by pulling out a wad of cash. And so they're off. He said, fuck the police, we're off. And so they basically he gets to the boat. He's expecting this like big speedboat, right? And I wish I could read the thing. Like, I'm missing so many good story points of this. He gets to the like speedboat and it's just like this rinkety dinky fucking piece of shit boat with no GPS. And the guy's just like, trust me, I understand these waters. And so they go out. They go out in the strait. He's swimming in the strait at one point. They get in the boat. They drive out to the strait. He records the infamous video. This video right here. Let's find it real quick. Oh no, where's the video? Fuck my life. I should have prepped it. The tanker on fire. Yeah. They record the video. Look, he's like in a rinkety-dink speedboat. So they record this video and he tells his story that he's in this tiny boat, no GPS, and above him is like an active war zone. There's Shahed drones firing over top. There's missiles. There's bombs going off. Tankers are exploding. And he's in this rinkety-dink fucking speedboat floating in the Strait of Hormuz. There's 2.2 million views. It's probably been pirated 1 million times. And so he says at one point that he picks his phone up to take a picture of the drones. And the fuck the police guy screams at him, put your fucking phone down. Don't do it. Because even that is like, no. It's like death, bro. I think it's like death. And so they're out there for a while. He tells this story that at one point they're out there and the IRGC pirates in a speedboat come blitzing over to them. And he's like, I'm dead. Like I'm dead. And they come over and like exchange cigars and cigarettes, wave at him, salute, and fucking fly and drive off. Right. So he's like, bro, he's in the most probably one of the most dangerous places in the entire world. And so he's there for a while. They're in the water for 30 minutes, 40. Oh, here we go. Thank you, bro. Turns out it wasn't the IRGC, just another smuggler. He slowed alongside our boat, close enough that I could see his face. He was smoking a cigarette. I was smoking a cigar. He held out his cigarette and I handed him my cigar. And we looked at each other across the gap between 2 boats in the middle of the most contested waterway on Earth. And we nodded and we smiled and neither of us said a word. It wasn't the RGC. It was one of these like pirate smuggler figures. And he gets his footage, a little bit of his footage. And mind you, he has 2 phones. And so they get back to the coast and they catch him at like the border and they're like, he's here. And they confiscate everything. They're like, he's here, like the fucking border patrol. And they like jump like they jump on it. He's like on his phone in the background, transferring all the videos to like his burner phone to hide it. So like, hey, bro, you're done. Like what's this? Fuck, I should have prepped some of the quotes. He goes, I didn't care. I would have gone to jail. I was so high on the fact that I'd actually been on the straight, that I'd done the thing, seen it with my own eyes, gathered information that nobody else had, that I felt nothing resembling fear. Afterwards, I went back to the empty hotel bar and drank 11 beers. And so they like go through everything. They knew he was there. He's here, he's here, he's here. They go through his phone. They can't find anything. And he's basically let off. They let him go. And he leaves with a phone that has some pictures, the video, and he gets on the phone with Citrini for 8 hours and just brain dumps everything that he just experienced. And Citrini, like, rapid fire, writes it all down, tries to, like, digest the story and get out of it as much as they can get out of it. And so the two biggest takeaways from the story of what was uncovered in the Strait of Hormuz, number one is he has this quote and he's basically saying, like, while I'm on a speedboat in the Strait of Hormuz, and all I could think about is how retarded our monitoring of the situation was. So basically what he was saying is that everybody had some thesis, because he's going around talking to like locals, people in Oman, all over. Everyone had some elaborate thesis as to why boats were not able to get through, right? And it's like, oh, the insurance, they don't want to insure, or like this, that, the third. And in reality, the reason that boats were not and are not going through the Strait of the Hormuz is genuinely no more complicated than the fact that these are real people and real humans that have to go through and they don't want to die. Like, it actually just is that simple. And we're here speculating on what's happening and why it's happening and 4D chess on how it could happen and why it could happen, when in reality, it's pretty binary direct that people just don't want to die. Also, the second part of this is that everyone is screaming like, oh, insurance, insurance, insurance. If only people would insure these tankers. And the thing about insuring these tankers is that if you insure a tanker and it goes through and it gets blown up and you own the tanker, it's like, yes, you'll get your money back, but there's no fucking tankers, bro. There's no tankers. Like, you don't have a tanker. It's gone. Like, yeah, you could like pay for it, but like somebody has to build it. You have to source it. You have to get the supply somewhere. There's no tankers. It doesn't exist. There's no tankers. There's nowhere to get the tanker from. And so it was this pretty funny, like, sobering realization that he had that I'm getting secondhand through this, which is that we overcomplicated it. It's like humans are fucking humans and humans don't want to die. And oftentimes it can really just be that, like, it's partly that simple as to why ships are not going through the Strait of Hormuz. By the way, sorry, I had to deal with the comms real quick. We have to cancel Peter for tomorrow. He's running like super late. He's not going to be ready until like 6:30. I think we should do it tomorrow on time. So if you're here for shift, my bad. It's okay. But I actually have a lot to cover anyways, so it's okay. Sorry. He's running really late. Damn, people just dropped because of that? What the fuck? I have a lot to talk about. What the fuck? Brother, by the way, back the fuck up, okay? I have way more important shit to talk about than fucking gold right now. Chill the fuck out. Flood came out for this too. Everybody fucking relax, man. He's gonna be here tomorrow. So the other thing that I learned in reading this article that I just think like we didn't really account for when we're like analyzing the oil trade and talking about the Strait of Hormuz is, so he's doing all of these firsthand discussions with like the people of Oman, and he's learning sort of what, even like Iranians that live in Oman, he's learning like what the people want, what the narrative is on the ground, because remember, there's no real reporting coming out of these GCC countries or in the Middle East at all. There's no reporting. Iran doesn't have internet. And if you post anything in Oman, you're like going to jail, right? I mean, they came after him. They knew he was here for some sus shit. They didn't really know why or what or why he was doing this. They couldn't really stop him because they couldn't prove anything. But so one of the things he learned is that there was a significant increase in ships moving through the Strait of Hormuz. And there also was an increase in strikes, in escalations. And that was like, analyst number 3. He's like confused because he's like, no, those two ideas contradict themselves. And it's basically the case of like these things sort of operate in their own silos, and it's not binary. It's not like one isn't necessarily absolute dependent on the other or anything in between. And that, I don't know, there's just like real life going on in between both. And so this is kind of what we're seeing is like more oil is going through the Strait of Hormuz right now, while at the same time, more strikes are happening between the US and Iran. And so in the closing section, the first half of the article is about the story. It's honestly, it's better. It's just like so entertaining. So now, okay, it brings me to the oil trade. And I think when we were trading oil early in this conflict, we had at least what I consider to be some level of edge in understanding the spread between how bad and out of control the situation in Iran had gotten versus how the market was pricing it in as if nothing was happening. But when you read this article, I've actually never felt like I know less about the oil trade than I do now. And it makes it kind of uninteresting as a trade because he basically articulates this climax where the worst case scenario probably is that the US and Iran drag out this war for a long time. It becomes extremely expensive, it becomes extremely unpopular, and just causes pain to markets. While every other country strikes a deal with Iran and is basically bringing the flow of oil through the strait back to normal. And oil flow is the same, prices are down, but war is deeply escalated. And so he explained this like future where it's no longer, we're just going to like wait for the US to tell us what to do, but we are going to make our deal on our own terms and resume the flow. And so I don't know. I basically have found myself in the framework of the oil trade is just like that. And it's kind of a cursed asset to be long it because one, the entire world is actively trying to suppress the price, bring it down, every country individually, maybe except for Iran, wants oil to be cheaper. And then two, it's not really a great vehicle to express the war is going to get worse. I think that was the vehicle that's the vehicle I was trading before is the war is worse than the markets are saying, but it's no longer a clean way to express that because it's been pretty blatantly clear that the war can get worse, but more oil can still flow. And then the price gets cucked. And so I think until further notice, I'm done trading oil. Should I pitch this event right now or no? Should I pitch it to the stream right now? Chat, speaking of viral events, what if we did an IRL event for Counterparty in New York, but instead of a party, we rented out a sick theater and did like a private screening of Big Short or something like this. But you can talk and socialize because it's private. We have the whole theater. W event or L? W or L event? Or do you hate me? I would fly in for that. Stop. You would not fly in for that. Probably like a dinner first, open bar, and then the movie. But it would be really loud, but also like tables, chairs. Would you fly in? People would fly in for this? I would think we have to gate it to like 100 people, but I would probably let like 50, I don't know how many invites to the chat. A lot of people from the chat. We'd probably like cover some people's flights, and then I would like force like flood and shit to come. I'd fly from Paris. Would people really fly in for this? First Counterparty event. It's like some low key shit. If Taiki and Base 16Z there, brother, I'm there. Actually, it's like a sick idea. How much do you think it would cost? Open bar, dinner. We could like bring some fucking slop, some wings and shit. Bet. Let's do it like for 2 weeks. Let's plan it. I'm so down. Let's do it. Yeah, we should do it. Counterparty event. Yes, we can involve our partners. We can make it private. We'll bring a bunch of people from the chat. This is my sick performance with a cancellation. This is what the fuck we do. Citrini article number 3 day. Tomorrow, we're going to talk a lot more about the market, a lot more about trades. We have Peter Schiff coming on time at 5 p.m. EST. On Wednesday, we have the greatest oil trader in the world, the greatest oil analyst in the world, Rory Johnston, who's going to fucking crush it. When return to spaces, absolutely never. UConn plays today. If they win, we're going to be throwing an official Counterparty event in New York City, and I will not be wearing the same shirt tomorrow because Malcolm got me Hawaiian shirts, and we have 5 of them. So I might switch every fucking hour. I might wear a Hawaiian shirt every day for the rest of the time because I'm live every day at 3:30 p.m. EST, which is actually more like 3:40 p.m. EST every single day. I'll be live tomorrow. I love you, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you for pulling up. Thank you also for supporting. You want to get your Z on do. Have a great rest of the day, later, motherfuckers. Peace.